What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of season 1 of the Main Thing podcast. I'm Darius Harvey, and today we got a special guest from Tallahassee, Florida, Lawton Childs High School, Amari Gainer.
Tackled for a loss. That was a nice effort there from Amari Gainer. Was all over that. Amari Gainer read it every which way.
Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's good to have you, Amari. Appreciate
Blessed
you
to
for
be here.
stopping by. Appreciate you for coming to chop it up with me, man. I know we just met not too long ago, but hey, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come get this done.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I just want to get to know you, let the world get to know you, and let you, control your narrative on your own platform. So let's get right into it, man.
Yes, sir.
So growing up in Tallahassee, man, playing at Childs, even before that, I know you got a couple siblings. You got a sister, I believe,
Sister and brother.
and another brother. I know your sister's an athlete. I didn't know you had another brother. Was he an athlete too?
Yeah. So my little brother, he plays over there at North Florida Christian.
Okay.
He plays football and baseball over there. He recently just committed to TCC to play baseball.
Okay.
So that's where he'll be continuing his college at TCC. And then my sister, she's over there at FAMU. She's playing softball over there, shortstop. So yeah.
Okay, so your sister's at FAM.
Yep, she's playing
Okay.
softball at FAMU.
Okay.
She went to Florida Gulf Coast, and then she transferred over. She played softball at Childs too, went Florida Gulf Coast, and then transferred right in time back to FAMU, and so she plays there now.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So you the oldest.
I am.
So you kind of led the way in the family, like
No doubt.
setting the standard as the athlete in the family. Growing up, were y'all very competitive? Like in the house, like, hey, I'm doing this. Hey, little sis, you gotta come on with it. And
Yeah,
like with your little brother now, like.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of had to be like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
my mom, she was on us, pretty heavy. My dad played at Florida State, so
Okay.
he knew what it take. And I mean, my mom, we get kicked out of the house. We have to, fend for ourselves. So I mean, at that point, it was come up with your own entertainment. We're outside. It was me versus them two. Playing football. We'll have had a home run thing out there playing baseball. So
Right.
I mean, 'cause I played baseball and football my whole life. So I mean, it was kind of just just growing up, just having that competitive nature. And I mean, she was always around it. She's around 2 boys. She had 2 brothers. So I mean, we always go at it. And I mean, she's really competitive too. So I mean,
I got you.
yeah. So I mean, we were just all competing. And then my mom just at every game taking us all to all of our games and making sure everybody was right, make sure everybody was straight. Because I mean, there's only one standard, that's excellence. So I mean, you go out there, you have a bad game, something like that, and playing baseball, you get locked out of the house, you got to hit off the tee until you figure it out. So
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So your parents had a strong hold and a heavy hand in, kind of molding you throughout your young years and your high school years and getting you kind of to where you were.
Yes,
now.
sir.
That's good. That's good because it's crazy that you talked about that tough love because
Yeah.
a lot of people like they don't get it. I've seen like some of my teammates, their parents tough love, but it worked. It got them to where they were today.
No doubt.
Yeah, my parents were kind of just standoffish. They didn't really know much about it, but they always supported me. So I seen both sides of it. So it's good that you had that experience and
Yes,
kind of
sir.
developed and grew from that. So talk about your time at Childs. So when I was growing up in Tallahassee, the kind of connotation around Childs High School and the football team was that's a stat game. It weren't really
Yeah.
you weren't really worried about Childs on the schedule.
Yeah.
But in the kind of wave when you came out, y'all started winning some ball games and kind of turning some heads and getting a little better, sending some guys to colleges and schools. What about your time at Childs that was special to you, and what do you think happened in that time frame that kind of shifted to kind of make Childs kind of a more respectable program in the city?
Yeah, I mean, it all started from like your background, how you were raised. So I mean, for me, it was I when I got there, I knew what I wanted to accomplish. I knew what kind of player I wanted to be, and so I mean, for me, it was going in there and leading and kind of showing the guys that were there, how to work pretty much. 'Cause, I mean, you'll have first getting there, see a lot of guys kind of messing around and stuff like that. trying to, like silence you. Oh, he's just a freshman, stuff like that. But I mean, I'm coming in there like, how many games have you won? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I just got here, but I'm trying to win. So
Right.
I mean, coming there with that mindset, and I had a few guys I played Pop Warner with that were kind of on that same mindset. So having all it takes is a few guys that come together on a mission, and you can make some stuff happen. So I mean, I feel like my sophomore year, first year we made playoffs, and stunned a lot of teams. I feel like it was mainly our defense. Our defense that made it happen, and we had a few offensive weapons in there too. I was back at running back also. So
You play offense too?
yeah, I played running back. So be able to do that and be able to and I'm, like everything else, it starts at practice. So be able to have that toughness in practice, be able to carry that mindset to practice, and makes the games easy. I feel like.
I got you. And that's huge. That's huge. So, Charles, and you could have easily went to Lincoln, established program, was already putting guys out of Gabi, who was kind of doing his thing at that time, some other schools around here. What was it about Charles specifically? Was it just that was the closest to where I was living at the time, just my relationships with some of the guys I played with in middle school? What was it that he was like, no, I'm going to go over here and we're going to kind of shift the culture a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a big baseball guy too coming out. So, I mean, Childs is a big baseball school. So that played a little bit into one of the reasons why. But, I mean, also I'm a big football guy. Wanted to go out and, a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people have come out of Lincoln, came out of Gabi. Not many people have come out of Childs. So, I mean, for me, it was, to be the first. To be not run to a good situation, but to create a good situation. So for me, it was to be that first guy to go Power 5, to be first guys to start it, and not even just start it, to actually stay there and finish it. Getting offers from IMG once my coach leaves, and having that tough conversation with my parents to just stay, and, finish out my career in Tallahassee at Childs. So it was probably one of the best decisions I've made, being able to do that, and also early enroll into Florida State. So I mean it was great just to be there and to establish a culture at a school like you said that didn't really have culture of in the later years. I mean it was a new school.
Right. And it's huge that you touched on like the IMG opportunity, because in my time when I was coming out, we had like some top talent around here go do that and go chase that opportunity, and so. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's a great opportunity to have. But it's something about staying and doing it here, because I think you had a big hand in bringing a lot more eyes to Tallahassee. Because y'all got it popping now.
Right.
As many guys as doing it in multiple sports right here from the city.
Right.
So I think that kind of had a big plan and a big play in that. So I want to commend you for that. So we talked about Childs. So now we leaving Childs, going up, you doing your thing there. And you getting a lot of attention from colleges. You listed some sites maybe say 3-star, some sites maybe say 4-star. What was that process like? Were you a big camp guy? Did you go to a lot of camps? Did you hit the camp circuit? What did you do specifically to kind of market yourself in that high school realm? It's a little different now, but in that time frame, in that era, what did you do to kind of market yourself, and what schools were looking at you? What were some of your options?
Yeah.
And why did you ultimately choose Florida State first?
Yeah. I mean, I guess to touch on one of the things you were saying. I mean, I feel like the market, how you kind of establish yourself. I feel like it is more kind of the same, and the fact that you have to market yourself. I mean, you'll have some. I did all the camps. I did 5-star Rivals 5-star challenge. I did the underclassmen challenge. I went to the opening down to Nike headquarters. So all the camps, 4-star camps, 5-star camps, but I feel like the main thing is marketing yourself. I mean, you can do all the camps, but I mean, along with the camps, they like the tape has to match.
Right.
I mean, that's with anything. That's when you go to the NFL. That's when you go college. The tape has to match. So I mean, you look good and shorts and stuff like that, but are you physical? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing off the field? You know what I mean? So like, be able to have that that mindset on the field and off the field, and be able to you can ask my teachers and they're gonna be like, he's the same way, he works hard, and he's the same way as he is on the field. So I mean, I feel like that had a big thing to do with it, and also being able to DMing Twitter coaches, showing them my film, showing them my huddle, doing the background work, not just putting it all on my high school coach and, you know, be like, you know, I hope somebody sees my stuff, you know, taking the initiative and actually
huge.
sending it out, you know, doing your own research, you know, finding who's scouting your area, what position coach, you know, what do you want to play, you know what I mean? So stuff like that, and being able to do my own research and, you know, coming out, I feel like, you know, it was, you know, I had offers from everywhere, you know, Bama, Georgia, Texas, Miami, Florida, all the, you know, the top schools. But I feel like for me, it was definitely tough because I wanted to early enroll. And then that was the era that Jimbo left. So, I mean, I committed to Jimbo. And then after that, I kind of didn't know where I wanted to go at first, but I did know I wanted to early enroll. Mm-hmm. So being able to, you know, it came back to go to a school where you'd go to if you weren't playing football.
That's
and
huge.
So,
that's huge.
You know, because, I mean, you have to go to school there. So for me, it was Florida State. You know, everything led me to Florida State. My mom went there, you know, graduated from there. My dad played at Florida State, you know, graduated from Florida State. So, I mean, for me, I feel like, you know, it's no other option than to continue the legacy and to go to Florida State.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. Two things I want to harp on that you touched on. Just the whole high school coach aspect of it. Because a lot of people think like, it's my high school coach's job to get me scholarships.
Yeah, like that's it.
No, that's not the case. Like their job is to have the best interest of the whole team and win football games.
Facts.
The ones that do help and do extra, that's them doing an extra mile.
Facts.
And that's a good high school coach who does that. But it's up to you, your family, to help you.
Facts.
To email some of these coaches, because now you got multiple hands doing that, and that's gonna help push your name. So yeah, that's one thing we got to get corrected. Like it's not your, don't be mad at your high school coach because you're not getting looked at and you're not getting offers. So that's huge. So talk about, and then you talk about carrying on the legacy with your parents going there. That's big because I know it means something. When you go put on a uniform, doing something where your parents also went, family members also went, you want to leave a good name.
No doubt.
And you want to leave a legacy like they did. So yeah, that's huge. So getting into that, so you get to Florida State, you early enroll, and you got all these expectations. You know, I went to Florida State, I'm from Tallahassee. Did you feel that pressure? Like, do you feel that building up? Like, man, I'm here, all my homeboys here, all my friends here, my teachers, maybe my girlfriend at the time or whatever you had going on. But what was that a lot of pressure on you at the moment? Did you ever feel that? Did that ever get to you at any point?
Not gonna lie, I don't know. It might just be like cause me of who I am, but it never really got to me. I feel like, you know, I'm me, and I feel like with me, like, you know, I'm just so confident in myself that I love me over anybody. So I mean, when I kind of got there, you know, I felt like the big dog on campus, you know, because I was, you know, a highly, you know, touted recruit. You know, I was in the community. You know, I love the community. You know. Everybody, you know, my supporters, my fans, everybody, they love me. So, I mean, for me, it was, I mean, you know, just coming here, work, you know, control what you can control, and, you know, everything else is going to play itself out, you know. I feel like when you start putting external kind of pressures on yourself, start overthinking, you know, start getting anxiety, like, you know, I wonder if, you know, that's when I feel like you start, you know, playing slow, you start following people, you start doing stuff that's out of your character. But I feel like if you just be yourself, you know, I mean, you know, people call me different, you know, because I am who I am. So, I mean, you know, I'm not going to, you know, conform to what somebody else is or what people kind of want you to be and kind of expect you to be. You know, I'm going to be myself, you know. I'm a goofy guy, you know, charismatic guy. So I'm just going to, you know, be that. And, I mean, you know, everybody loved me that I was consistent and I am who I am every day.
Hey, and that's big when you touched on, you know, people get caught up and not kind of knowing what they are, and they kind of lose sight. Because, you know, I kind of experienced some of that, redshirting early on. And it's a lot coming at you in a new city. But once I just got back to, like, look, at the end of the day, I'm just going to be me, and people are going to accept me for that as long as I'm balling on the field.
Exactly.
And that's what happened. Like,
exactly.
Everything took off for me on campus, in the classroom, when I just focus on ball, be you unapologetically, and just be comfortable in who you are. Everything else is gonna take care of itself.
Exactly.
I became comfortable in that situation. That's pretty much what you're saying. Like, I'm confident in me. I don't got to do nothing out of the way. I don't got to do nothing too extra to impress the coaches. Like, no, we just gonna let the work speak for itself.
Right.
So that's
I mean,
huge.
yeah, and that was another thing for me. It was, let that high school stuff be in high school. Everybody that's here, was good in high school, played multiple positions, yada yada, retired, everybody's done that. So you don't gotta act like you're big dog. Like it's 5-4 everywhere. So just be level-headed, just work, and all that other stuff is gonna play itself out. You don't have to go and keep showing high school film. Like,
Right.
You wouldn't be here.
What are we doing now? Yeah, that's real.
Exactly.
That's huge. Okay, so now we in Florida State. We early enrolled, so you picking up stuff pretty fast. So talk a little bit about your career there and the era that you were there and getting some playing time. You playing on special teams. Just talk about how it was to be a Florida State Seminole. Because I played against Florida State, but I ain't never put on a uniform. I don't know what it's like wearing that patch every day and going through that program. So talk about your time there and kind of some of the things you learned throughout your process and going through that time where you kind of played special teams, you playing linebacker, you in the mix here and there.
Yeah.
Just talk about that process because everybody not always going to be the top dog linebacker, number one prospect, top 5 pick. Your story a little different. So talk about your time at Florida State.
Yeah, definitely shared a lot of experiences at Florida State. Had 2 different head coaches, a different position coach every year of my college. So, it was, different perspectives, seeing, the different culture shifts and, for the better. So, for me, it was, being able to, be that voice to, let people know, it's okay, keep going. Like I've been through it. Like, you got to wait your time sometimes, and you got to control what you can control. Like regardless of whatever's happening external, like you may have to play special teams this year. You may have to, you may have to come off the bench this time. But like, as long as when you on the field, you are balling and you handling what you're supposed to do, the eye in the sky doesn't lie. So a lot of people, have, think about the future and think about, oh, if I'm not playing every snap, I'm not gonna, play at the next level and stuff like that. But like what I had to tell myself and kind of remind myself is, they can only evaluate you when you're in the game. So if every time you in the game, whoa, who is this kid?
Right.
That's an A. That's a good stamp for you. So it was just for the main thing was controlling what I can control. To be positive. Talk to everybody. Hang with good people. You hang with good people. You work better. You work harder. Encourage people. When you encourage people, you get energy. You start feeding off energy. And to be a good person, people don't like hanging around people that mope or have like a sad story for themselves all the time.
Talk about it.
Everybody has one. So I feel like by being positive in whatever situation, whatever circumstance that you get in, I feel like that's probably one of the main things I learned. And to be able to serve other people, by serving other people, you make, not only do you make yourself feel better, but you also see how grateful you are for the stuff that you do have. It's easier to say, look and see what you don't have instead of look at what you do have. So I feel like that was the main thing, to be appreciative of every opportunity. Like you said, not everybody gets to wear the garnet and gold. Right. So, being able to be appreciative and run out on special teams or be appreciative, for every snap, that I had in the garnet and gold. So I feel like that was like the main thing, to be able to, to be grateful for every moment and to, live in it, be in the moment, be where your feet are and, smile through it. It only happens to you, once in your life, and then, you go to the next level and you dominate the next level. So, it's each step, just dominate the step, dominate where you are, dominate your place, whatever you're doing. You're in the business, dominate your cubicle, and you'll be great.
For sure, that's facts. That's facts. I think a lot of what you just harped on in some of your experiences there was the whole opportunity, the whole experience. No matter you QB1 or linebacker 2 or wide receiver 3, you feel me? It's all networking and building relationships.
Yep.
Everybody gonna see how you interact in the locker room.
Yep.
Everybody gonna see what type of leader you are when you in the workouts. Are you a guy that's ducking smoke, ducking work? Are you a guy that's in there, let's get it, let's go. People notice that, people watch that. They're gonna see your trials and tribulations and see how you respond.
Yep.
Like, stuff I'm doing today, with my business, I'm getting opportunities off of relationships I've built over the past years with teammates I play with who are doing things in businesses. So it's like, bro, people are always watching. So you always got to carry yourself and conduct yourself in a way that's going to set you up to network and do business later on down the road. So I think that's important that you touched on that. So that was real good. So you finishing your career at Florida State. Things are wrapping up. So in the time, who were your two coaches that you played under at Florida State?
Head coaches?
Yeah.
Coach Taggart and Coach Norvell.
Okay, so okay, so let's get into that a little bit. So you kind of came in, talk about the Taggart area. What was, because me personally, I felt like they didn't really give him enough time to kind of really implement what he wanted to do, but you were in the locker room. So kind of just talk about that. What happened with that whole process? Because I played against Taggart. I played at Sanford. We kind of talked about that before, but yeah, I played against that era. I was rooting for him. I wanted him to be successful here. So kind of talk about that process and kind of what was going on with the team and that whole ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, being able to control what you can control. I feel like, I learned that early. I'll say that much. To be able to, not everybody's going to have that same standard that you have for yourself. So I'll say, everybody, you have to hold yourself to that. Whether somebody wants you to, play around and kind of, get a little bit of off focus, you can't, abuse that and kind of take that and run for it. You have to stay within yourself, stay within your character, and kind of do what you feel is right. I feel like, it was definitely a different standard when we got the coaching change, more, more of intensity, more business-like approach. I feel like.
You talking about the change from
with the change.
Taggart to Norvell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like it got more business-like. Coming in. Just like NFL type. Bring your notebook to every meeting. Sitting up. Coming early. Just basic stuff that you kind of get away from when you kind of just when you don't touch on it. I feel like so. Having that standard throughout the team. And not letting people be who they are, but having a certain standard about the way you should go about your business instead of giving college students a little bit more freedom and thinking it's gonna be better for the chemistry, but discipline I feel like is more better for a team to have rather than more freedom.
I got you. That's big that you harped on that because I'm a firm believer in that as well. School I went to when I first got there, we weren't living up to our potential. Coach came in and set standards and rules, and people was fighting against it at first, but once we bought in, okay, we started to make some noise.
Yeah, you'll fight at first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's tough. It's tough to change the culture. It's tough to shift. So hats off to Norvell for doing what he is doing because, you feel me, he kind of had to build the thing from the ground up. So it's good that you touched on that. So you graduated from Florida State, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you end up leaving Florida State and you graduate. Talk to me about entering the portal and that process.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think it's just all grapes and lollipops.
Yeah.
You're going to enter the portal and have so much opportunity. But you got to have film. Is your transcript looking right? Like, is the situation right? A lot of people jump in there and get lost.
Yeah.
So talk about like your process. How did you navigate the portal? What kind of schools were coming after you? And how did you ultimately land on your decision to choose North Carolina?
Yeah. So for me, it was tough. Sign, hit the portal just because this my dream school. My home school. My alma mater, all that stuff. And so for me, entering the portal was a business decision for me. To looking for the opportunity to play multiple positions at linebacker, outside, inside, and be able to get moved around. And so kind of when I initially hit it, the coaches were definitely on board with me. They knew my situation. Talked to all of them. So it was not a secret for me. And so I feel like when I got in, schools from everywhere for me hit me up. Just because, like you said, you have to have film. And, I was highly touted out of high school, too. So that kind of plays a factor into it. But ultimately, kind of, for me, going to a school where I can play both outside and inside backer. But, definitely got hit up for different schools play both. West Virginia, North Carolina, Cincinnati, Bama, Ohio State kind of hit me up after. But for me, it was Duke, Wake Forest. So it was going to a place that I kind of saw different things for me. And the reason why I picked North Carolina over West Virginia was just because I got to saw them practice a little bit. They had a bowl game, so I got to kind of see how everything was going, stuff like that. The position he wanted me to play in, but then it's just different. It's different. You got to know what you got. You got to make sure you know before you make sure you go. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's facts. That's facts. Cause some people just want to jump in that boat. And they ain't even, checked it out.
You gotta know, you know.
You got holes in it over here, and you don't want the boat to sink. So, that's facts. So once you get to North Carolina, what was that like? Going from Florida State, you get to North Carolina, you got a whole new group of teammates.
Yep.
How do you go about the process of ingratiating yourself with your new teammates and kind of building that trust when you only got really it was one more year, right? Uh-huh. You only got one more year to play there. So what was that process like? When did you come in? Did you come in the spring or was it summer?
Yeah, so I came in the spring a little bit after we won our Cheez-It Bowl. So I moved in after that. But yeah, like I said, it was kind of coming in and being myself, just coming in, smiling, being my same person, greeting everybody, making sure I learn everybody's names or try my best to, or act like I do and look at, the nameplate, but, just, be courteous to everybody and to, be myself, I feel like, and to work hard. I mean, for me, being in a leadership council and stuff like that at Florida State every year, and, it's kind of different, having a whole new set of teammates and to kind of getting them, to trust you and kind of, let them know, you're a veteran linebacker and, you have value. So being able to, be humble with it and also just to be yourself and to, make, lifelong friends. So, I mean, that was kind of thing for me, just to, lead by example mainly and to, just to come in and work, and that was the main thing.
That's good. So you get to North Carolina, you're trying to build a relationship, a rapport with your teammates. And this at the same time, North Carolina, they kind of building a team for themselves. They had some success, some pretty good teams as well. So you come into that mix, you got a quarterback, Drake May, who's high draft consideration. Talk a little bit about how that season went and that whole process went this year. What was the differences that you saw in Florida State and North Carolina? Talk about, did you have a relationship with Amari? Another Tallahassee guy played at Lincoln, Amari Morales.
Yeah.
Was that kind of part of the reason you chose North Carolina? Did he have any say in that? Did he have any influence in that? So yeah, just you dive into like North Carolina, the community there, your time there, and what you experienced on the field and as well as off the field.
Yeah, so Kamari, he went to Lincoln. He hosted me when I went up there. So, got to see familiar faces. Drake said was up there, different guys were up there. But I mean, for me, it was, when I got up there, it was, change of weather, first time living outside of Florida. So for me, it was kind of, getting adjusted to the new weather, getting a little extra, wearing some extra layers of clothing.
Yeah, it's a little cold out there.
Yeah, stuff like that. Getting accustomed to, wearing new colors, Carolina blue, all that stuff. So for me, it was, the whole culture shift. I mean, one thing I knew was Florida State. So it was definitely different for me. I remember we were walking down to one of the games, and I was like, do y'all have like a signal or anything? You would be chopping.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do y'all like do anything? Like Tar Heel, anything? Yeah. They're like, nah, man. Like, I'm like, wow, like it's just crazy. Like it was just like, it was just a whole different world for me, it felt like. So I mean, for me, kind of just going through it, kind of like, just having like some of the principles that I've learned throughout the years. We go and would share them, kind of like we do body language when we were running at Florida State. So we'd be running conditioning. I, make sure people have their body language, make sure that, standing tall and stuff like that. And just be able, to be a leader, watching film with some of the younger guys we have.
That's huge.
To be able to, spot out some of the stuff I may see, some of the tendencies I've seen over the years, playing ACC football, inside linebacker. So yeah, just being able to, be that extra eye down there. The community was amazing. Everybody welcomed me with open arms. I did a lot of community service out there with a table and NC Hall of Fame. So all the NIL stuff like that, I feel like they did a good job of incorporating it into the city and throughout the city. Doing food drives. Going and having kids out, be able to meet and greet kids and stuff like that, and to be able to immerse yourself into the community. I feel like the main difference between Florida State and North Carolina was I feel like at Florida State, everybody, every sport was kind of just like together. Like you kind of knew everybody from every sport and stuff like that. And I feel like North Carolina, it was kind of a little bit more separate just because we had our own football only facility, stuff like that. So you don't really see other sports for real unless you walking on campus or something like that. But still you don't know them, so you're not gonna just. You know what I mean?
So,
right. Yeah.
I got you.
So I feel like that's like the main. It was like the main difference for me. Just kind of literally at Florida State, everything was just one tribe. Everybody kind of know each other. Everybody being there, and then it was kind of different dynamic. And then also me not being there, so definitely
that's
different
good.
dynamic.
That's good, and I think it's very important that you talked about ingratiating yourself within the community.
Sure.
Especially in this age of NIL. It's not enough to just be a good player on the court.
Sure.
If you want to network and get some opportunities with some businesses around your school, you need to ingratiate yourself in the community. Mm-hmm. Be willing to go speak at some of these leadership seminars and some of these other things that are going on in the community. Show your face and be a leader in the community, because that's just going to bring more attention to you, and people are going to want to get behind you when you do that. So it's good that you touched on that. We'll be right back after this quick message.
As a competitive athlete, you're always trying to gain an advantage. I gain my advantage with the Firefly recovery device, increasing blood flow by 400% while also helping me recover 3 times faster. Make your recovery active with Firefly.
All right, man, so let's get back into it. So talk about, I know throughout your career at Florida State and at North Carolina, you had to play a lot of special teams. Talk about the importance of special teams, because I didn't really know. I played quarterback in high school. I didn't do no special teams. So I didn't really get none of that until I got to college, and I was thankful enough to have a really, really good special teams coordinator, Mike Kreisel, who's doing his own thing. He's been at a lot of big schools now since leaving Sanford. But he really kind of harped on how professional he was, spelling everything out, PowerPoints. Special teams was, in a way, the best ran thing about the program. You see what I'm saying? So talk about the importance of that and how important that is to a game. And then, I was more uptight about a special teams meeting, bring my notebook to a special teams meeting than a cornerbacks meeting. You see what I'm saying? That's how stickler-ish it was. We didn't play about that stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a reason why we led the country in some categories and did some things. But talk about that, being a special teams player, being willing to go down there and run down there and do that, and the importance of that, and how you can still get looks, because NFL scouts are watching that. They want players who do that. So talk about that.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like, anytime you get to be on the field, it's a blessing. Regardless of what you're doing, regardless of special teams, defense, whatever it is. So for me, since high school, really, probably even before then, but I was just, just going down there just trying to bully kids, honestly. Because I was so much bigger than them, of course, in high school and stuff like that. So people called me bullies. I would not care. I'll go down. You can go watch the film on my high school. I'll blindside. It didn't matter. Just get out there, just have fun. Have fun with it. Block. They'll put me at fullback. I'll block. It doesn't matter. Just being able to be out there and have fun with it. And then you find yourself not playing as much as you want to on defense, but for me, I still got to get my tackles in. So I'm gonna, try to make it up on kickoff. Try to make it up. Try to make up the tackles. It's still gonna add up. A tackle is a tackle. It's not gonna say tackle, defense, tackle, special teams. It's gonna say you got to tackle. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just being able to fill the stat sheet up however you can do it. Whatever way you can do it, find a way to get it done. And whatever they had me doing, I'm gonna do it, to the best of my abilities. practice in a game. I mean, just to be out there and, like I said, compete. And I mean, we definitely put a huge emphasis on it when Coach Norvell got to Florida State with special teams. You know, like I said, everybody, you know, bringing a notebook. And he's liable to call on anybody from quarterback to O-lineman for a special teams question. So, I mean, it was, you know, it definitely helped me a lot in my development. So coming to North Carolina, I knew every position, and I could teach a lesson to somebody about each, you know, special teams. So, I mean, it was good, you know, learn the fundamentals of special teams and not just being out there and not just doing what they tell you to do, but actually learning the fundamentals, learning the techniques that can carry you throughout, you know, your day-to-day whenever you play, wherever you play, you know, game basis.
That's good. That's good. So, talk about kind of some of the successes y'all are riding North Carolina, like early on, talking about, you know, this might be a team to get in the playoff. You know, y'all had that connotation behind you. Everybody's talking Drake, Nay. They did some really good things the last 2 years. So talk about kind of how it was going through that roller coaster where y'all were winning, and you kind of dropped some games. What was it like going through that? Because I know that can be a battle mentally as well, especially playing at the magnitude of the ACC and the Power 5. And when you got the fan base and everybody harping on you, got a lot more eyes on you with the North Carolina program. What was that like? Did you feel that? What is the fan base like, basically is what I'm trying to say at North Carolina? Are they big on football? I know they got a lot of basketball love.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it was, you know, it was a lot of like, you know, it was a lot of shock, I feel like, throughout the campus. Like, you know, you'll get the thing like, yeah, like, they undefeated though. It's like, oh yeah, they are undefeated. You know, you're like, ain't like, what? That's
like, what we supposed to do? Like,
that's a crazy thing to do. But like, I feel like, yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, it was controlling what I control. You know, definitely didn't go as I expected it to go. But to whenever I got in, to, you know, contribute to the defense however I could, and to be that veteran voice on the team, and to be able to, you know, lead the best way I could while I was out there, and finish my last year and do, you know, whatever was told of me to the best of my abilities in order for me to transition to the next level.
That's good. That's good. And it's important to have leaders like that in the locker room, because that kind of helped me take off as a career when you got older guys that believe in you, like pushing you, like kind of showing you the way. Because that kind of make you want to tighten in and kind of do your job a little bit better. Like, people don't understand, like, and you talked about this earlier too, like taking time out to watch film with a young guy, like, you don't understand what that's doing for that young guy's confidence. Because that's going to make him feel like, oh, hey, he believes in me. Like, let me tighten up because I don't want to let him down if I get my opportunity. So that's huge. That's huge that you touched on that. So I know y'all played in the bowl game this year, and you heading up against Garrett Green.
Yeah, they had Traylon Ray too.
Okay. He is another Tallahassee guy.
Yeah, he played with my little brother.
Okay. So talk about that experience. You going through that bowl game, and Garrett, you know, he's Garrett Green from Tallahassee. You kind of built a relationship with him at Childs a little bit, and playing baseball growing up. What was it like? Was that the first time you ever played against him?
So that was honestly I think that was the first time I played against him in football.
Okay.
Because he played at McClay. When I was at Childs before he transferred. It was him and Connor Hansen.
Okay.
They was over there, and I think I hit like 2 home runs off of him. I remember him, he was right there at catcher, and so like we were like laughing and joking about it and stuff like that. And so like that was the first time I played him in a football game.
Okay.
Other than like, you know, at practice when he finally transferred over to the good side of Childs, and he was at running back. And
wow.
Yeah, so we used to go at it. But yeah, that was the first time playing with him in a game. So yeah, it was fun.
That's good. And it's what do you think about kind of where he is right now? Is that it's cool to kind of see like there's somebody I kind of competed against growing up, kind of played with a little bit in high school. And y'all kind of on that stage in that moment. Did you kind of just like take that in, like, like Tallahassee, like we kind of out here right now, like it's look how far we came type of moment? Like,
yeah, no doubt. Just to, you know, see him, you know, finally have his breakout year and have a coach that believes in him and keeps him out there consistently so he can do his thing. So I mean, Garrett's a dog. He's been a dog, so be able to have somebody that's there for you and somebody that believes in you through it all. I mean, it's just you see what happens. Production. So I mean, and I feel like that's a lot of guys in Tally. Just give them a chance. They're gonna give you some production. So I mean, just be out there and see him out there. See the guys scheming for him. Trying to let my guys know, tell them about him. And stuff like that.
Right.
People not listening to me, but it's all right. But yeah, he's a great player, great dude. So yeah.
I got you. That's huge. All right, so now we transitioning. You finished your career at North Carolina. You finished at Florida State. Now we enter in the space of chasing professional opportunities. So talk about a little bit about some of the things you're doing right now. Are you signed with an agency or anything like that? Talk about some of the people you're training with. And that process. Talk about just the day in, the ins and outs of training and this time frame where you kind of like, you've been associated with a team for your whole life. And now you're going from your body of work you've done over your career and a whole lot of uncertainty behind, could I get picked up? Could I go undrafted?
Sure.
Just talk about the process. How do you go about that mentally? And what's your day-to-day process, waking up, training, leading up to the draft and leading up to pro day, and we'll get into pro day as well. So get into that.
Yeah, so I mean, initially coming out of the bowl game and, getting right to it, honestly, I started training kind of like, towards the end, midway to the end of the season.
Right.
I start training for that 40 and getting ready to get going. So, yeah, for me, training down in Fort Lauderdale at XPE, it got me a lot better. Got to, learn from Tony Villani and, have a lot of, great, NFL guys down there and also guys that are training for the off-season work, So it was a bunch of guys down there from the Browns, different teams and stuff like that. And also guys, top prospects that are going to the draft down there training with me, getting faster, getting better. So, I mean, I feel like that whole overall process has helped me, to grow and develop and to, we all in there working for a common goal, to play in the NFL or to stay in the NFL for the guys that were already in there. So, I mean, it was great. I mean, so now, after having a successful pro day, coming back home in Tallahassee and, going back to the basics, going back to my roots, training with trainer Karante. We'll train up on the turf fields, bring my teammates.
Karante lab.
Yeah, yes, sir. So bring my teammates with me from Florida State, bring them all down there, train, we're all getting ready for, this big opportunity. So lifting over there at Florida State and at Crunch Fitness, my boy Verse Benson, D-Lo Bethune, Fabo's coming out there, Josh Burrell, all of us just, getting it in any way we can, just, keeping that work up, staying ready so you don't got to get ready. I feel like that's the main thing. Being able to be in Tallahassee, support my little brother. He's still in baseball season. Support my sister at FAMU, playing softball. I get to see their games while I'm in town. So, it's just great to be back home, be able to train, be able to, be back to my roots, being able to go back to my dentist. So, little things like that, see my family, see my dog, So, I mean, it's just great being home, be able to train. It's my job now, like you said, done with school, all that stuff. So, just training, watching film, looking at, old NFL games, it's not a secret, it's the NFL. You can go on your TV and watch it, see different formations, study the game, keeping up with your body, make sure your body feels great. So, I mean, just little things like that, getting prepared, working on, like you said, special teams drills, so you're ready. As soon as, like you said, the draft, I mean, you don't have any control over the draft or what happens, but what you can control is whatever team you go to and how you're going to perform, how you're going to work when you get there. So I feel like that's the main thing, to be prepared, to be ready. You can take visits, but, be able to train while you're doing that and stay focused through chaos. I mean, keep the main thing, and that's being prepared when you get there, whatever team that is.
That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. So, talk to me about, and that's a big thing you harped on. You said staying ready. Because you get the pro day, so you got to train, do your pro day. Talk to me about that pro day experience.
Yeah.
Because when I was coming out, I didn't get the opportunity to do my pro day. Some things happened and came up.
Yeah.
But was blessed with an opportunity to go try out to make an NFL team.
Yeah.
God willing, that I got that opportunity, so that was cool.
Yes, sir.
But talk to me about pro day. Walk me through that process. Kind of give me a chance to feel that, like having all those scouts be there.
Yeah.
And to be there in front of you while you're showcasing your talents. Like, were you nervous? Were you just talk me through it.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like you don't get nervous unless you're not prepared. So for me, I kind of knew all my numbers and stuff like that. And so we walk in. I got there pretty early. Been anticipating this moment for 3 months now. Was in Lauderdale training for 3 months. Trying to perfect everything, get everything right. So walk in there, see a bunch of scouts. Kind of walk up, do my height, measure my hands and stuff like that.
And then like probing you, like.
Yep, all that stuff. And so then they kind of do your weight, stuff like that. And I start getting ready, doing my weight because we had 40s first. So we had the main event first. So yeah, to be able to go out there and felt prepared, felt ready, was prepared, was ready. So ran a good 40, ran a 4.56. Then after that we started jumping. Had a 10.3 broad. So all my numbers either were close or similar to my training and how I trained. And we finished, had the pro agilities, L drill, stuff like that. Stuff to kind of slow your body down and kind of ensure that you have great cuts. And that was something I really wanted to do and perfect while I was doing my training and stuff like that. So I was very blessed and ecstatic about my numbers that I put up. And then we had drills for me. Being able to show my inside linebacker skills and also my outside linebacker skills was important for me. So I did inside backer stuff with Ced Gray.
Okay.
And we had some teams out there coaching us through. And I was talking to a few of the teams, and then after that had a little break. Then did outside linebacker stuff, pretty much D-line stuff. I did it with all my D-line teammates, doing D-line stuff, bags, stuff like that. So I mean, it was a pretty full day, and then ended it on we had bench press. And I pumped up 21 reps, but it was,
Okay.
after everything. So
Yeah.
I was definitely
gassed,
exhausted after
yeah.
that. But I had to go over 20, and I couldn't stop at 20.
They probably did it on purpose too.
Yeah.
We're gonna get them on that last.
Yeah, exactly. So pumped out 21 reps and called it a day, man. It's history now. So
That's good. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. It's history now, because like you feel relieved now, don't you?
yeah, no doubt.
All that's out the way. Like you can pretty much just go back to your normal routine, like
Yep.
just working out,
Field work, yep.
getting ready, field work, and that's good. And then like when you harped on being back home, you go through North Carolina. That was your first time kind of getting away from
Yeah.
the city, and so you back home now. It kind of feel normal to you again. Like okay, my parents here, my dog here, like all my friends. I'm kind of surrounded back in that environment. But using that experience from you going to North Carolina, that's kind of giving you time to prepare for whatever opportunity may come your way
Right.
in your professional career
Right.
to go live somewhere else.
Right.
So it's good that you had that experience. So
Right.
that's big time. So let's get into it. What do you think right now, the scouts watching, what would you say, who is Amari Gainer and what do I bring to an NFL team?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you started off, I'm a God-fearing man, for starters. I'm a Christian. I live my life through Christ. And I feel like what you can get from me is a leader, a hard worker, someone that's going to, bring your team up and not down, and someone that's consistent, someone that's very consistent about his business, and a great asset to a team.
That's good. That's good. What'd you major in college?
I did interdisciplinary social science with a minor in entrepreneurship and urban planning.
Okay. So if everything is with football, whenever it does, What you plan to do with that? You got it figured out yet? Or?
I have a nutrition company
Okay.
called Top Shelf Nutrition. Me and my buddies kind of do that little thing. So getting in a bunch of gyms, like I said, being able to serve and spread that through different people, have different influencers, different athletes, getting different college kids, brand deals, nutrition company deals, maybe their own protein shake in different areas. I feel like that'd be very important for me. And then also, I definitely want to do commercial real estate and also a residential real estate, and open up some kind of recovery facilities. I know not everybody can be as blessed as athletes and stuff like that, and have the ability to just jump in a hot tub or jump in a cold tub, or just be able to go somewhere and relax. So be able to have that for different people, have that for like high school athletes and different people to kind of get your body right and get your mental right, and just have somewhere just kind of like a safe space to go to train, and also to get your body right. I feel like it's very important in development of young athletes just as well as it is in working out and getting prepared for the next thing.
That's good. That's great that you touched on that. You touched on a lot of good stuff just then. So now, coming out, training, there's a lot more avenues you can take. You can take the NFL route. You got the CFL. You got the UFL. Talk about what you think of that, and you think it's beneficial for the game. Is that something you're open to in taking other routes? Some guys, they say it's the NFL or bust for me. If I don't make the NFL, I'll move on. So talk about that. Are you opening to other opportunities? Maybe if it's in another league or something like that. Just get into that.
Yeah, honestly, I just don't see myself, playing. For me, I feel like, I'm an NFL player.
You got to believe
I'm a multi-role, linebacker. I can play, anyone. And so I feel like, it's not that many people in this world that are better than me. So that's just how I feel. Yeah. And that's especially at the position I play, and being able to play different roles, different positions, and especially if you factor special teams in the mix, I just feel like so. But I do feel like it is good for the game, and it allows more opportunities for people to be able to play, and also to be able to, maybe something has happened in their life, to be able to come back and recover, show their talents, and to be able to come back and show that they have value to provide to a team. So I feel like it is good in that sense, and to be able to keep that dream alive for a lot of people, and to be able to keep it going and keep the next generation of football inspired to be able to keep going.
That's good, man. And I'm really glad that you harped on that, man. I love the confidence, first off. Just because, yeah, bro, if you don't believe in yourself, why would any other team draft you or pick you up? So, yeah, I love the confidence, man. But yeah, I agree. I think it's great for the game. Some of these other leagues coming up, as long as we can sustain them and keep them going, because a lot of guys are getting opportunities in the NFL from those leagues, like the UFL, XFL. I know they merged, but so I think it's really good for the game, man. Because like you said, people got stuff that come up in life, so it's good to give people an avenue to continue to play the game at a professional level. So that's huge. If there was another thing that you could end off with, just to say, to anybody in Tallahassee, coming through Charles, doing the same thing that you did, in the same way, what advice would you give to a high school player, somebody in college right now, kind of in the same situation you were in, going through school? What advice would you give on how to kind of navigate that space and ultimately get through it?
I would say, like I've been saying, this whole interview, if nobody's been listening, control what you can control and lead by example. I feel like those are the main two things I can really give you, and to treat everybody with respect. Those three things. I feel like those three things will carry you a long way with whatever you do, just because, you'll have a lot of people that just may talk, but if you don't have the action behind it, not many people are going to listen to you, and not many people are going to follow you, and you're probably going to be saying the wrong stuff because you're not doing it yourself. So I feel like that's the main thing, and then to be able to lead, and to lead in general. So to be able to, have your own morals, have a good, don't do what somebody else is doing just to look cool or just to, fit into one group. Be your own group, start your own group, and get with like-minded people so, it can elevate your whole group, you know what I mean? And I mean, and the fact that, you know, even Jesus said, you know, don't have everybody, he said, don't have everybody like-minded, and find somebody else, you know, that you may see potential in, and bring them closer to you, you know. Don't just, you know, like this my group, this is the only people we talk to. Right. He not like us, so we not, no. You got to have everybody, you know, everybody to come in to one goal. Because, I mean, like I noticed, you know, your team win, everybody win, everything goes up. Your money goes up.
Right.
Your morale goes up.
Right.
Whatever you want goes up. You know what I mean? So, like, if you win, all that is coming. So I feel like the main thing is focus on winning. Focus on being a team. Focus on other people. You focus on other people and you make sure they're great, you're going to be straight. You're gonna do what you got to do just because you were encouraging somebody else, and it's going to make you be better because they're going to start encouraging you. Once you start encouraging them, they're going to be like, okay, he want me to win, so I want him to win. If y'all just sitting there working in silence, y'all low-key hating on each other from the inside.
Come on, talk about it.
You're not going to tell him what he's doing wrong. Tell him, let him know.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people just let you do the wrong stuff, and they're not going to say nothing because they don't want you to be better than them.
Right.
No, you should want somebody to be better than you because you're going to work yourself, but you should coach them like that's your son. Coach them like, you know, you want them to be great too. So I feel that's the main thing. Like, don't, like, that's lame. Like, don't just because you older, you don't want the kid to be better than you. You don't say nothing when he does. No, get on him. Like, you've been through that. Like, you've seen it before.
That's
huge. You can't be like that.
That's huge, man. And that's huge, man. Keep a good circle around you, and keep people around you that's gonna hold you accountable.
Facts.
And not only just let you get comfortable where you at, but keep encouraging you to keep going.
Facts.
And pushing the narrative and pushing the envelope. So that's huge, man. You touched on a lot of good stuff, man. I appreciate you for coming out, spending time with me today, allowing me to get to know you, know your story. So we're going to wrap it up for today. That's it. I appreciate y'all for checking in, tuning in to episode 3 of the Main Thing podcast featuring Amari Gainer. It was real. If you like the episode, you like what we got going on, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, keep the main thing the main thing.
Yes, sir.
We good.